Can you just say that again because no one heard, and I want everyone to hear what you just said.
Oh, I just said I really like the bird to human ratio in this trailer. It's very good. It's very satisfying to me.
Excellent.
I actually counted them up, and the ratio is around 1 to 20, but it's still higher than we've ever seen before.
Than anywhere else in the entire rest of the game.
Amazing. Okay, I'm going to do a quick intro because I was technically a little tiny bit late. Everyone, welcome to the show. I hope you're very good and very well. It is the Guild Chat episode where they're talking about things in the game. Guild Wars 2, Shing Jea, I believe. And maybe, hopefully, we'll get a teaser at the end because that would be good. We're watching along live. I'm not going to talk too much. We have Boots, we have Rook, we have Valen for the very first time. Welcome to Valen as well. Welcome to Rook, welcome to Boots. We're going to watch, we're going to react.
While we are going to show you
things. I hope you're well in the chat, live, listening wherever you are.
We are leaving a lot for you all to discover for yourselves in the game
okay,
after
so they're not
End of
going to show
Dragons
everything.
launches. But if you don't want any spoilers, if you want to come in with completely fresh eyes and you don't want to see anything beforehand, this is your time to maybe kind of dip out. We will miss you, but we will.
Yeah, actually, I kind of don't want to be spoiled, so.
The second thing
Me too. Sorry, I'll see you. Bye, everybody.
Okay, it's just me and Valen.
We are on a
Good lord, thank God it replaces with your avatar because now, unfortunately, Valen was Rook for a while, so you can do that in most people.
While the rest of the Canthan NPCs get taken care of. So, that said, are we ready to dive in and get started?
I think so.
Yeah.
I would hope so.
All right, where are we starting?
An amazing shirt
It
today.
is really
That shirt
beautiful.
really is
This
incredible. I
shirt's
love the
kinda
iris,
beautiful.
the iris pattern.
So we're gonna just do a quick
Good shirt game.
pan around and be like, oh, look how beautiful this area
It's so
is.
gorgeous.
Yeah, I mean, like, you all probably, if you're watching the video that just happened, you saw this, right? You saw parts of this area, which is Saitong Harbor, and this part of Saitong Harbor.
wondering if their stream quality is bad or if it's mine.
Where you will first pop into
Really crisp
the
for me.
expansion maps after you've finished the first instance. And we chose
Not too
Saitong
bad.
Harbor
It's a
specifically
little bit
because we
grainy.
wanted to have an area that
Oh
was
my
really vibrant
gosh.
and, you know,
That
good, you know,
overlook
point both
down to the
culturally and
harbor.
content-wise. Because with Saitong Harbor during the day, we wanted something that kind of gave people a
Just a little
for lack of a better term, or like
cherry
more,
blossoms floating down.
easy entrance into the world, right? Like, you're not
So
just,
is that like the
crashing
jade
in
over
and
there,
there's,
like in the
fire
archway?
and death everywhere.
Yeah, it's
You
jade.
come in,
Looking
it's like,
for-
wow, this place looks actually pretty
So I was talking about this on Host of Last One. I don't.
yeah.
That wasn't there before.
But Saitong Harbor
So
specifically,
is this like a
which we'll see with the
story
video today.
thing?
I
Well,
don't
this
know.
is like
About
post
exploratory content,
Guild
a
Wars.
lot of
Wait.
like just fun interactions.
I think the archway was there, but not.
during the
It wasn't
daytime.
jade.
So,
Yeah, that's
just
what I'm
keep
saying.
that
There's a lot of jade
one vista
on
that
this
is still
in
in
this
progress. I'm
island.
working on it. I promise
Some
you.
of it looks natural, some of it looks ornamental, but I don't understand how the natural stuff got there.
Stay tuned. And yeah, this is pretty much just like, you know, as I mentioned, when we get here, this will be
Like
what
the one
people
under
see
the
first.
archway looks ornamental, so it looks like someone
there,
brought jade
though,
and put it
is the area
there.
that we need to get to.
They could
and
always do
fun fact, we
unpolished
can't
jade,
actually
so you
jump
could bring
over
hunks
these
of it and
rails.
still
They
use
are
it in a
jumping
kind of
through.
unpolished
scale
state.
over
Although
this.
yes,
Yeah.
that looks
Or
like
you
it's
can
really
spring it,
specifically
which is
kind
the
of made.
OG jump.
Maybe the magical properties of the jade enhance
You'll
the
see
sound
that,
of the
like,
bell.
This is just kind of the
Maybe. I
more
think that's very
different
possible.
area, and one of the first events, because we're actually going to be looking at some events today.
Yeah.
It looks
One
awesome
of the
though.
first events that we're going to be looking at is the hide and seek event, which at certain points I will need to pause and type in commands.
It looks
so-
okay.
You can do some secret dev hacks.
Yeah, some secret dev
Yeah.
hacks.
So while you're doing that, this hide and seek event,
Yeah,
there
they made
is
their
a
houses nice and colorful.
kid that she's lost her toys, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in a
Just looking
moment.
at everything.
But we're going to
Remember
help
that
her out.
Guild
And
Wars
this the
2 is
kind of
like
event
a,
that you can
you know,
expect to see
8,
at the very
9-year-old
beginning.
game.
We're just, it's
And
just
they
kind of
craft-
easy.
like, it's
Things
not
are
gonna
a
be
little more
like, you know-
peaceful, not entirely peaceful.
I've just
as
been
we
playing a
will show
lot
you
of New
soon.
World.
But it's just there's
Although most
there's
of the
more
stuff
of a
looks the
focus
same.
on
Twitch
how do
quality
things work?
isn't
How do you get around
amazing
what's going
either.
on here?
Yeah, this will look better
it's
on your
better.
own computer
so
for sure.
we will take
Okay.
a look at that. Is she cooperating with you?
She is. it's a little.
Definitely a little bit more
a
green.
little difficult.
I think they
There
actually
we go.
Hey, there we
downscaled
go.
their
Alright,
stream
So remember
Yeah,
that,
the stream when they
remember that one
move,
time
it is
that I said that not
dodgy.
everything was
or
finished.
something.
Yeah, some things they're not
And
Yeah, the
showing
bit
off.
rate
Still a
seems
work in
pretty
progress.
not that great.
We're gonna go over here to
Yeah.
this little kid. She's worried about
This
missing
little
her
kid.
toys. That's not the only thing she's
Oh
missing.
my
and
God.
We are
She's
working.
missing arms.
We are working on the kid.
She is kid.
As
Some
you,
things have happened.
Oh my god.
As Ruby said, or as you can see here, as mentioned,
I didn't know that this was going to be a horror story.
there is.
I mean, it's the month. You know, I mean,
Oh,
they don't know what to say about the kid with arms that are squashed
sorry.
into the.
Yeah, I'm getting. I apologize. I'm getting some feedback from.
I love
from
the
team.
Oh my god, the
I'm
writing
also
for
trying
it
to
is so
process at the same
placeholder,
time.
and I love it.
But yeah,
There's like literally they put a
as
frowny
Ruby
face
mentioned,
emoji at the end of
you know,
it.
This is still a work in progress, so even our NPCs are still.
I love it.
I mean, this is good though. This is good for us to see where they are, because this is actually, this will be the dev client, so obviously it's not like an alpha client, is it? I mean, it could be an alpha client to be fair, but like,
And this is just a fun way for us to be able
so
to
it was interesting because they do have alpha. It's just like,
and explore
yeah.
the area.
And I mean, honestly, all of the actual city is there. And the detail in this city, the layers of different details and assets and all sorts of little things are incredible. So it makes sense that, you know, the cherry on top is the actual, like, stuff, the events, the text, the other things that they have to actually put in now that it's all built.
Pale spirits, these ones are,
Wait, what's this?
like I said, like very mischievous enemies. So what we need to do, also I'm like trying my hardest not to skill click right now because I don't have my.
It's nice that we can know everything that's still under development because they put the little double brackets around them.
By the spirits, and you will need to beat them in their challenge. You don't actually kill them or anything along those
Yeah,
lines.
whenever something is in double
Determining that
parentheses,
I
it
am
means
worthy
that's not
to
finalized.
toy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Being
No,
like, hey,
and if
stop that.
It's like, remember to change this before we launch.
Or at least look at it. It's just not final. It
Bloody
could be
hopefully.
final, but it's not
Yeah,
necessarily.
obviously, of course. But with this content, it's mostly just about, like I said, going around exploring. It is a group event. A lot of the events that we're actually going to be showing you today are group events.
Oh, they're showing us events.
And,
Awesome.
So Ruby and I will be skipping through certain parts of the content because we want to make sure
They said it was like a
that,
hide and seek event.
you know, we show you as much as we can, as well as
Interesting.
reflect on the fact that these are group events, so you're not going to see them in the same light as you would when there's a bunch of other players around.
So it seems
just
like maybe
kind of
she
admiring
has a couple
the-
different tasks you
I'm
can do or something
admiring
like that.
The game board.
I wonder if we
there-
could
there are
play
lots of
that.
different kinds of toys.
That would be so
That's what
fun!
she's asking
Was it just
for.
like drafts or something? Or checkers?
Looks like
whatever it is?
Polymock, but not Polymock.
So with these, right?
I don't know what
we wanted
Polymock
to make
is.
sure that
Polymock.
we could culturally
Oh,
Looks more like
give some more
checkers.
depth
Yeah.
in
very
the,
simple checkers, yeah.
principle. So we looked to a lot of different Asian cultures to see what we can pull from to kind of help. Also, the text is very.
Look at this frowny face at the
It's
end of
very
it.
temp. If you couldn't tell by the fact that there's a sad face, if nobody noticed. But there are different kinds of toys, and what we did was we looked at Asian
Kanji
cultures and kind
pebbles.
of what toys come from them. And we wanted to kind of help reflect those things to help make Kantha feel a bit
Also, the
more,
kid's face is very creepy.
in that regard, while also giving opportunities for
I do
education.
absolutely love what they're
So,
talking about, though.
within the
Ways
concept
to
of
take these
content,
events and
we'll
then
try and
add
find
in additional
opportunities
lore
to
or
help
inspiration and cultural
solidify
inspiration in a way that I think gives you more facets about it.
culture.
Yeah, it shows that there's depth to it for sure.
I was just sitting there holding the board while I was listening.
And Boots' input
Like,
was,
she's like, "No."
the kid's face is creepy.
I mean, I talk about what I know, Jebro. I talk about what I know.
That's all
It's
that
like, I don't know
is
anything about traditional games around the world, but that kid's face is freaking me out. So
Are they gonna be
force complete this.
using directly the same games or just inspired by those games? Are they gonna be putting something called Go in the game, or are they gonna call it Stop?
Code event. All right.
Boots, okay, so earlier you know how you left of your own volition. Now I'm gonna have to ask you to leave of my volition.
Okay.
And then what's cool about
I think a lot with a lot of games, especially like New World came out, and there is more of a Eastern kind of zone. They bring influences in, but they never try to copy things exactly, because otherwise they would literally be probably insulting cultures. Like you just can't do that. Just- depending on if it's a
Brindle-
depiction of that game's like area specifically.
be like, hey,
Brindle's wondering if you could turn the stream a bit louder.
Yeah.
and, you know, man overboard.
Oh,
Wait,
it's
wait,
so
quick,
beautiful.
wait.
The
wanna race?
reflections of all the
No.
colors and everything in the water.
there we
That
go.
seamless transition, being able to just jump straight into it. It's just, I feel like boats are just bridging that gap even more between the, you know, upper level mainland sort of gameplay and water, in a sense that like many other MMOs just don't have that kind of like, whether or not you really like underwater combat, right? But like being able to have a world where you can literally just jump in the water get on something, fly up into the air from top to bottom. It's so cool.
Yeah.
This is cool.
Event.
So that's just one of the boats wandering around. It looks like that could be just a ferry you just chill on, maybe. I guess. There's one of the fishing holes. There you go, on the left.
That is not
a little
her
salty about it, but that's okay.
Yeah.
I like her anyway.
Oh, okay. So there's fishing holes all the way out here. Yeah, that's nice.
There's
My
loads.
NPCs as comedically as possible
Sharks?
to make sure that people.
Oh,
like
that
anything
boat just had to
can
stop
see
because you
and
bumped
are
into it.
just
Or it
Oh
just
no,
went back.
it was just went back.
not to allow that to pass. Sometimes, unfortunately, it's not comedic enough, or like I guess it's too good, and then it accidentally slips through, and I'm like, oh no. But I don't think this is unfortunately going to be one of those cases. Okay, so what I'm going to actually do, so that way to make sure that we can hit all of our content.
That person is called Strong Wife.
You make her boat go faster.
I'm going to make
Strong Wife is my new hero.
Oh, yay.
which is a great way for people to see our god powers.
The god powers are super fun. I'm not gonna lie. Wait, no.
Ooh.
Come back.
Oh my
Oh
god.
crap.
Hold on, we're gonna crash.
The whole speed thing.
Okay. Sorry, Strong
Is he
Wife.
playing an AT?
Well, it just sped up the whole
I did
game,
sped up
the
the
whole
text,
map, like everything.
Basically,
Made time go super fast.
anytime goes super duper.
All right,
fast.
so what does she want?
I'm underwater.
So they're like playing chronomancers? They just
What she wants
Yeah.
is
speed on time?
with her deliveries.
All right, so I
They
love
all
this
got
one
quickness. I don't know.
because, like,
Number of things.
it's an interesting
duper
twist
speed.
on how we do this.
Oops.
What do you have?
So this is actually a bonus version of the event.
I was like,
that
this is
we're
not the
gonna
crate I
be
was
showing
expecting.
today.
Uh-oh.
So I'm gonna force complete this. Sorry, everybody.
No, I want this basket of fish.
Oh, it spawns a meta.
Y'all remember what I
So
said
maybe
about
it's
this
when
being
it said
down?
bonus, then maybe is that like a random thing, or is like if you
Also,
do the
Nick,
extra?
Like the-
god powers
it's like the
are
Choya
so
Pinata,
powerful that
probably.
sometimes they
Oh,
can't
okay.
get away from him.
That is very, very.
think I've
true.
ever
It
done
seemed like
that.
they really didn't
Is
want to
also
show
make
it.
sure
like
that,
why?
No, she's
so
leaving.
yeah,
Well,
she's
because
leaving
it's a
again,
surprise,
but
I
it's
guess.
okay.
They don't wanna-
I'm a dirty cheater.
I feel like she's
I
just.
have a
saying,
feeling we're not going to see a lot in this.
So
I need you to get it together.
They're showing us more than they showed us in
Yeah,
hot forms
right.
right now as well. To be fair.
it's okay. She's.
I didn't
she's,
do-
she's
I
gonna
don't
go on a
remember them
journey
doing
fine. I
this
don't think
much.
I can on this, but the part.
Well,
of the
other
event
than
that we're
if we
supposed
get to
see
play it.
Are the
Because hot forms we played a map,
So
right? No, we
the
played
boat
an
event is
instance.
about taking the
Just come.
items that she unloads from her boat and delivering them to the right individuals. So it's a standard, collection and delivery event. But with not Path of Fire, with End of Dragons, what we've been trying to do is find ways to take
that one's already
standard
out.
objectives that we're used to, like
God.
taking things from point
So
A to
hold
point
on a
B,
second.
or
Let's try to
killing
figure
things,
out what that
right,
bonus
bosses,
thing was.
and trying to see
Instead
where
of
we
random
can add
packages, it was
explosives.
fish.
So
Do you
in
go out
regards to the boat
and
events,
like
there are
catch
two
or
different
try to catch a
kinds
kraken
of
or something?
crates. There are
Let's
fragile
just
crates
agree with
and
you,
there
yes.
are
That sounds good.
heavy crates. And with fragile crates, you can actually pick one up just as you could normally, but what's cool about these is that you can actually pick up to 3,
Oh,
and each
cool.
one counts as a thing, right? Like as if you're gonna pick up
Ah,
the
you
entire
get
thing.
encumbered.
The trade-off
That's
though is
new.
that the
Cool.
fragile crates cannot
Balance.
be
Yeah.
carried with mounts, so you have to walk them, and
They
the
said
more
they're
that you're
gonna have more
carrying,
balance in it.
the slower you go, right? Because the heavier that they are. So Ruby is currently taking those crates, and while she does that, I'm going to actually also show you the other one, which is my personal favorite, and also was a very big pain in the buns to make. And that is the cargo crates or heavy crates. And the thing about the heavy crates is that it's a super duper heavy crate
What
that is really hard to.
I mean, they've
move
had that
around
mechanic
as a
before.
player.
Well,
But
not
what's
that
cool about it
exactly,
is that
but the
these
whole
ones, you
thing
can
coming
actually
out of
pick
it.
them up,
Exists
and,
somewhere, but I just don't
the
remember
overarching
where.
objective is to
Not that
tow
exactly like
these
pulling
crates
something like
with
that,
your
maybe with
mounts. And
2
each
though.
mount does something a
just
little
one.
bit differently. Like the overarching goal set and mechanics are the same,
That
but what we
is
found in
dope.
development
Absolutely
is that
love
there's a
that
little
you
bit
can
of
use a
emerging
mount
gameplay
and pull it.
with
That is
That's
different,
so
yeah.
like,
neat.
the Springer does something that
And this whole
helps
discussion
people,
about taking
get to
events
it
and trying to
faster,
give them
specifically
additional
something
layers
with
that make
the
them a little bit more
skimmer,
interesting or
something
allow
with
you to kind of
skyscale, things like
multitask.
that. Some
I think that's
are gonna
really
be more
smart
effective
because
than
events
others, and
can
might
be
actually
really
surprise you
fun.
with ones.
But a lot of times they can also be really repetitive. You know, it's just like, well, here's just this thing and it's super boring, but
Wait a minute.
You cannot.
Also, it means if you haven't got the other expansions, you have to go and get those as well. To do something different. It's actually quite good in that way.
Even if it's like just like one event that is kind of, you know, maybe not too meaningful, a lot of times you'll see they reuse the physics or like the mechanics that they kind of have to invent in their game in like raid encounters. So
I was just thinking that.
creating new stuff.
I was just thinking that. I was also thinking, what if they give that as like a tether to a player, as a skill? Be kind of interesting.
Yeah, I think the mechanic might actually just be like the tether, but they change like say like the spellbreaker tether. You know how if you go out of range, it pulls it to you, right? Well, the range is just shorter, and then it pulls it to you. I think that's probably what they just use.
Kind of like tornado pulling.
Going to be delivering will be different and have a different mechanic, which you saw just a tiny little piece of today. But you'll be able to actually get to experience it when the game finally does ship.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait. I'm so excited.
So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to force complete this event as well, because I have that power.
Kind of wish I had the music as well. I always like hearing the music in the zones.
Good effect testing.
yeah,
And what
definitely.
I'm going to do next is actually I'm going to make it nighttime.
When you don't
Hey,
have
but you
it,
get
it
dark
doesn't.
real fast.
It's really like
Because what's really interesting about specific parts of Shing
Missing.
Jea is
Completely.
that there
Feels
is
incomplete.
differences between the daytime and the nighttime. And what happens is, I'm actually going to turn. I'm going to
I
like.
wanna see-
turn it
yeah,
to
I wanna
nighttime
see
and
the
I'm
mood
gonna
lighting
stop
at nighttime
talking
here. It's
because
gonna be
think y'all
beautiful,
can
I think.
actually hear the stream, or like you can hear the gameplay. And I want to make sure that people can.
this is where older games can shine as well in this with the shadows and the lighting as well. So.
Let's go. The sun's setting.
Oh. All right. Let's listen.
Not quite as dark.
And
Guess I'll head in. They'll be here
sorry,
soon.
1 second.
I love that they have logic to go inside when it's nighttime.
Heading inside.
Yeah.
That's so, you don't see that like ever in any
it's like-
MMO.
What I'm trying to see is like,
Yeah, it's
are
kind of
there
like the
dialogue's
Radiant
fine?
AI where each NPC has their
I've
own
seen good night.
schedule.
It's, we better get
Yeah.
heading inside.
Okay,
It's
cool.
late. Good night. Be safe getting home.
Yeah.
Text me when you get there.
There we go. Yeah, I'm actually controlling the time. So.
Oh, good.
wow.
Okay, so they said their stuff, and what you're seeing is that
The
all of
NPCs are
the
confused right now. Wait,
individuals within the harbor,
is it night or is it
more
day?
specifically, are actually going into their houses during the nighttime. Like everybody's just getting up and
So
going
they all
in,
died.
They're talking about how they need to hurry, things like that. And the reasons for that is
Oh, they were saying about the
kind of
ghosts.
touching on
Yeah.
the overarching spirit theme that you saw earlier with the hide and seek. There
That is
are
awesome.
friendly spirits that will pop up throughout the area and actually just kind of roam around, and the locals want to give them the space to be able to do that. Like that's kind of what the overarching culture is here. Is like these spirits exist. We just want to allow them to do the things that they need to do. And what you will see is that unfortunately, for them, the nighttime does actually get a bit more hostile outside of these spirits because of the fact that there are some people who
Same as
are a bit
always.
more
Just until sunrise.
advantageous when it comes to these spirits. And I'm gonna stop talking again so you can actually hear Kyung say the things that she wants to say.
Get out of here. Do you have a death wish?
Oh,
More
was
of like
that
a Korean influence, it looks like.
Yeah, a little bit.
And something of note before they start talking again is that you will notice that these two probably look very much alike. As mentioned, things are still under construction.
I do want to call out how gorgeous the
Obnoxious.
models are.
Well,
Yes.
if you're sticking
They look amazing.
around,
Yeah,
help me get rid
the
of these
character
jerks.
team has been doing an
Here,
amazing
I'll
job.
channel you some ritualist magic.
Ritualist.
There she is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and she finally made a friend. How sweet.
Is that the reveal today? Is
So do you
Ranger
wanna
getting
start
ritualist?
things off, or should I?
Guess that answers
Maybe
that.
Thief is getting it.
Get these
Super
pests out
dead.
of our way.
Okay, let's do this. Hit them hard, especially the ones who are out there chaining spirits. They're the worst of them. And ring any bells you see. They'll give you the power to help cleanse the spirits.
That's interesting.
Alright,
That might
cool.
answer a
Now,
little bit of
basically,
why there's
just
jade
to
around
quickly
that
summarize
bell.
what's
Something to do with
happening,
cleansing spirits if they cleanse
so we
spirits
have a
here.
new enemy type, or called the Speakers. And for Shing Jea, there's a subfaction of the Speakers that are a bit more hostile. and not as
Also,
as
this
you
whole
might see in
spirit
other
thing is
areas
super
of the
fascinating, and I
expansion.
love it. I'm very excited.
But what we're
Yeah,
doing
it's
here
good.
is that these are like rookie ritualist speakers, and they're trying to do things what we consider to be now the easy way, which is like
Ooh,
just
look at that
taking things
mob
by
there.
force,
That
which
looks
isn't
good.
great, right?
That
that's not how
animation
people
and
should do things.
stuff.
So
Wait, that was
our
that
ally
an ability
Kyung
or was that
is
a
master
spirit?
Yeah, that looks like a
in
bound
forms of
spirit.
ritualism, which is more
That
about
looks like an
like, befriending
ability.
the spirits.
Yeah.
And,
Something to do with the ritualist?
Yeah. She's talking about
What's
like
happening
talking
here, as
about
you can see,
evil
is that there are
ritualists and
these
stuff.
these rookie ritualists
Yeah,
are
rookie
trying
ritualists,
to
okay.
bind and capture these villager
That's
spirits,
cool,
and
so you're
whenever
actually
they
gonna
do,
go
the
versus
villager spirits
ritualists.
are hostile. And what our job is, alongside Kyung, is to defeat these ritualists, right? Cull them, and also with any villagers that have been taken over, or even the ones that haven't, we want to use a new ritual skill that we've actually been temporarily given by Kyung to cleanse them, right? Right now,
New
it's
ritualist
temporarily
skill
called,
that we've been
cleanse
temporarily
resonance,
given.
and what's
I mean, I
happening
wonder
here
if
is that you use this
ritualists are
temporary
just going to be kind of a
skill to
backdrop sort of thing, or if they're
Yeah.
Oh,
actually
yeah.
just
That
gonna
might be
set-
the justification for not making the class.
And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, just like, you know, it's a
good
standard break
justification.
morale event with a bit
I
more
guess.
complexity, both narratively and non-narratively. And we wanted to focus on other elements like break bars. So what happens here is
That
that
would
the
be
way
an
to stop them from
interesting
just channeling stuff is to
thing
break
they
the
could
break
add to the
bar,
game,
and
though.
then it will
If
unbind
instead
the
of
village
ritualist
now.
being an elite spec for
And,
one class,
yeah,
it's
this is, you know,
a class
this
that's
is one
available to
part
everyone.
of this overarching concept
That would be
narrative.
interesting if they decided to
But
expand
without
something
the
like that
default to
down the
show you
road,
all
or
kind of
add in some kind of like
the fact that, like,
limited,
show you the
you know,
transition
hybrid
between
job
daytime and nighttime, and
functionality to
how
some
things,
degree.
can be
Yeah.
a bit more hostile depending on the overarching state of the
Like you
map.
just get
Speaking
additional
of
utility
character-
skills or
oh, sorry,
something to.
Lefty died, so that was inconvenient. Speaking of character art, I'm trying to find. Oh, here's a ritual spirit that's up. Stop killing them.
Stop
Because I
killing.
want to show off how good they look. Okay, here's one.
I've made this one immortal.
Thank you. That seems unwise in the long term.
Oh,
but
or
also,
not.
Oh my gosh! Hey, you know what? Trust me.
Yes, they all look really cool.
Nick is just an unstoppable force of
I really,
destruction.
I'm not doing anything. My hands are off. I think it's probably Kyung that's doing a much better job.
I need Kyung to just chill for like 2 seconds. There we go. Look at how
please.
good.
They're
Yeah,
really
they do
cool.
look really
Those
good.
are really neat.
And each of these different
Look
spirits has a different skill set that you'll see. And shout out to the Encounters team
Yeah.
who have been doing an
I
absolutely
would love
amazing
to see a
job
lot of the
following
armor
these in,
skins
Are we
they're
gonna
gonna
get
have.
that back piece?
But that's pretty
Maybe.
much going to be
I mean,
it for this.
There are
event
louder
as well,
things in the
'cause
game than that, right?
Yeah, well, why don't we
You'd hope
take a
so.
look at
Probably.
Kyung, I think, is unhappy with me for not helping. We're very much working at cross purposes here. Why don't we go over to the training grounds and take a look there? Does that work?
Yeah, for sure. So
NPCs on the mountain as well.
let's see.
Good.
I'm actually going to teleport there because I am a cheater. Let's see.
No, you're getting the players to the cool stuff quicker.
To the cool stuff.
Without
quicker.
seeing
Yeah,
anything in
I'm gonna
between.
do you.
100%.
There you go. And they're showing you off the catalyst as well. There you go.
Yeah.
All right, so
Hey,
we're gonna
I
wait
You got in
for-
chat like, ooh, that Tengu though. I
Yeah.
know.
Did you
It
teleport
seems
to me? You
like
did.
it
Okay,
seems
cool.
like they have increased the
So,
Tengu
with this
models and
expansion,
stuff because
what we're
it
gonna
did
do
look
is
like,
since-
to me at least, it
since
felt
Shing
like we
Jea
didn't get like a
is the
close up, but it
first
felt as though
encounter, and
that was a
since it's an
slightly
expansion,
different
usually we have a
look
lot
or
of new
build
returning
or.
players.
I think the
What we
Tengu
wanted
look
to
better
do is give a
in
space
Guild Wars
where
than they do in
people
Guild Wars 2.
could expose themselves
I actually think they
Really?
look better.
mechanics
Like,
and
yeah,
stuff,
they look
things like
more
that, in a safe and accessible space.
They're a little bit
So within
Together.
more
less birdie.
darker in Guild Wars 2, I think. They're brighter in Guild Wars 1, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I think they're definitely more birdie
Yeah,
in
that
Guild
has to
Wars
be
2.
something
Like
we're
they've got
really
their
far
more
back.
gangly legs and stuff.
With Shing Jea, we now have a training grounds area that is, as I mentioned, tailored for those things. And
Training
what we'll
grounds
see here
area,
is
that's
that there,
awesome.
There's a focus in specific areas for specific things. So with this
I
one,
wonder.
with this guy, it's all
Okay,
about
well that's a hard.
Hoping.
dodging and blocking.
I
and
was
this is
hoping
actually
they
also
put
a
something like this, and I was
renowned
literally talking about it on
and
stream
which
the other
also,
day.
to
This is a new
mention, I don't know if
player
anybody
area.
noticed at the top right is
Yeah.
missing
You can
right
jump
now.
into the
That's to
game
make
from the
sure that
beginning,
we
maybe.
are,
It'll
not
explain
spoiling things that we wouldn't be
mechanics.
showing today.
Gosh, I hope
But
it is
as we're walking through, it's
accessible
like, this
for
is
new
a-
players,
areas of
or
renowned heart,
that they take something like this and
I
put
think
it in
will
those
also
starter
be
zones if it
repeatable, if I'm not
isn't.
mistaken, and the overarching objectives is just, you know,
It would be
giving
better if they did
players
an
bit more
ESO
of a
thing though.
reward and
They just literally have a starter instance and it was
visual
themed for
progress
each
for the
expansion
players.
or whatever. I
There's
think
also
a
this,
starter instance
defiance
would be
training
really
Oh.
good.
and the point of this one is to teach
They're
players
teaching you how to break bar.
Teach and remind players how to break
Yay!
down break bars and
Thank
use their break bar
goodness.
breaking skills.
But Is this going to be somewhere that new players are going to going by normally?
Over here for the
If you
I mean,
level boost to 80 and do the story, this right away.
But I would hope that this would be something where it would be accessible to other people, or you could choose to like go into this area and learn the mechanics, or there'd be like a portal to it in the first major city or something. That'd be so nice. Even if it's disconnected from the rest of the expansion.
What do they call this? Area?
Training grounds is what they said.
Training grounds, okay. That's something we can talk about.
And there's other stuff that we teach here too.
There is, yeah. The next thing that we can show here, and I'm actually going to mount up, because gotta go fast.
Gotta go fast. What's that from?
The next thing that we actually have is also a jumping puzzle, right? And with this jumping puzzle, what we wanted to do is kind of have a puzzle that allows for people to kind of easly go through the content. Also,
Training jumping puzzle.
Like you
Baby's
made
first
this, you're so
jumping
good at it,
puzzle.
You busted through it like 5 times
Yeah,
yesterday.
what I mean is, like, please don't comment on how fast I'm going. If I am going
Interesting.
faster. I make a lot of puzzles, so I'm pretty used to them. But with this puzzle, right, like hopefully it's simple enough. The overarching desire here and goal set here was to have a puzzle that helps people get accustomed to different jumps, right? Jump height.
Oh, you
length,
even
things
get
like that,
heart progress
as well
for
as
doing the
also
jumping puzzle.
familiarize themselves with like the gliding jumps and things like
The
that.
part is probably for the training area, I'm assuming.
I notice you're allowed to use mounts there.
Yeah, you can just run up to him and be,
And glide it while gliders. I mean, I guess you can most places. Anyway.
and he will tell you, jump and glide your way to the top of the course. I don't think I'm going to get this again because I got it yesterday while we were working on this. But this first one, you jump and it will tell you, like, hit your spacebar to glide.
Yeah.
But what if you don't have Heart of Thorns and you haven't unlocked gliding?
So with End of Dragons, actually, we've made the decision to unlock gliding for anybody who owns End of Dragons from the moment that you enter into the maps. And so you're gonna have gliding no matter what.
Yay!
If you own End of Dragons, you got gliding. First tier.
Wow.
Easy.
But you probably don't get the mastery.
Yeah, the overarching
tracks.
reason for that was
First
mostly
tier, yeah,
that
he said
gliding
first
is such
tier.
an integral part of our overarching joy of movement and combat systems that we thought that it would be better to make sure that players have that we didn't have to design around it, right? Because for certain expansions and certain things, we always have to be like, okay, well, we can't do things this way because some players might not have mounts, some players might not have gliding. So with End of Dragons, we kind of wanted to try to remove that limitation and hit on the areas that we feel we're the strongest in, which is mostly joy of movement, and gliding is a strong indicator and mechanic / tool with that. So yeah, just long story short, anybody who doesn't have gliding.
I hope they balance all the terrain around gliding and not mounts, because the mounts kind of trivialize a lot of it sometimes.
Because now you do.
Yeah,
I've got a feeling they're gonna give Heart of Thorns for free.
And you've made it to the top like 7 times. I'm looking at like
I've
3
got a
things.
feeling
I've
that's
walked
gonna
off
be a
the
thing.
edge of this like 3 different
It
times.
would make sense at some point. I mean, gosh, with the bundle cost of the expansions, it basically is already almost.
I'm just
Yeah, I'm sure when you buy
Yay,
Awesome.
when you buy End of Dragons, it'll be like an extra $10 each for Path of Fires and Heart of Thorns.
All right, so what else?
I mean, there's a pack right now where you buy more.
Look at
I'm
it.
not sure how much it is.
There's more stuff to teach.
There is.
There you
So we also thought that it'd be beneficial for people to actually be able to exist in interact in a combat scenario. So there's actually this area right here that is a training arena or a practice fight arena where there are 2 teams, right? There's the ally team and then the enemy team. And what we do here is basically we just fight people, but we fight them in a very safe space.
I wonder if there is
it's an opportunity
capture
for
points
people
that may
to
pop
test
up.
their skills and stuff like that with group content. What's really interesting about this one compared to other events is that I'm actually going to unimmortal myself right now, and I'm going to die.
Oh yeah.
And what happens is that when you die, you don't you just get pulled out of the combat zone. You get pulled out of the arena, and that was made so that way anybody who is here can just rally, right? Let's pick ourselves back up and then go back into the
Was
fight
he saying that you
without
fight
needing to worry about
enemies there, or do you
rallying
fight
or
other
Enemies.
players in
getting
there?
full down,
Ruby
having
is
to
a
run
green.
back.
at the moment.
This event is on
There-
rotation
also, there's
constantly,
no-
so whenever it succeeds,
It doesn't look like it's.
we'll move on to the next thing, to have a cooldown.
He said that it was
repeat,
broken
etc.,
into
etc., etc.
teams,
But
so
with this, we wanted to create a space that
I have
allows
a
the
feeling
players
that
just
you
kind
might
of
be able to
practice
do-
and things like that.
Although
So-
it just looks like they're all against
like
them,
as
though.
mentioned before, the training grounds is all about
Or are
It
they?
does look like that way.
re-educating and or
I think that's an
reinforcing
event, though.
the education of
Oh, no, in
specific
the
things.
distance
What's
there's
cool is that
an
if you don't want to
NPC.
fight, you can just stand out here and they can't hurt you.
yeah, maybe I think it is an NPC team and then you join on another team.
That's really cool.
I don't know,
I
I
mean,
think it's-
honestly, it's part of the training, right? The idea that you can go
Yeah.
into a zone and try out rotations and stuff like that. And
Stuff to show.
Yeah,
so when
that's
you're done,
that's training.
Okay, I've practiced down.
Maybe
here.
it's slightly like more difficult enemies, so maybe it's like training for world versus world.
Yeah, they could be adding more like PvP-ish elements to open world,
Yeah.
Is some gadget interactions.
because that's
there was a good point brought up in chat, which is that, I mean, at least with having this training zone where it is, I think theoretically most players will have all of their abilities, will have, you know, an elite spec. It'll be something where, you know, you'll be able to kind of dive more into what you want to learn with the class or like extend your knowledge and actually have the skill set to be able to do that, as opposed to like really low level where, you know, before you hit cap, you may not have all your skills or hero points or mastery stuff or...
In this part, we're actually painting, and we have like a mini little puzzle game where it's, you know, choose,
wow.
choose the right. Choose
I
the
wonder
right
how easy it is
icon
to
of these, which is the
paint a
brush
penis.
stroke. And for each one that you get right, it will increase your down. And
Jesus
with this one,
Christ.
there's actually also a timed element to the faster
You know that's the first thing people are gonna try to do.
But with this expansion, you know, as I mentioned,
What it looks
we're
like.
trying
Guild
to
Wars 2 where you can get
take
achievements.
each of the
Right.
different
We're gonna be going for the
elements
achievements
that
first.
people usually interact with and find a way to diversify them a
Boots.
little bit. I mean, they've already been first, but like, you know, just help continue pushing that envelope. So this area is designed to kind of
And yes, here to the right we have our erotic art pavilion.
educate the fact that
The true glory.
Or we will call it
And,
Boots
yeah.
bit. Boots' bit.
I don't know. So I was like,
Oh, don't call it
I
that.
like it.
I mean,
so close to it.
Can you take
it's
a
Something else
inferred,
is
right?
named that.
appreciate Apprentice Ari over here?
Boots did a self-portrait
Because she's
of one
fantastic.
area of their
She's
body.
a part dragon, you can
what is
keep
this supposed to teach you? Is it like
I have
Like,
no idea,
I'm
man.
not sure who you've been
It's
talking
teaching
to.
you how
I
to
need
interact
know,
with like
where did-
items and
I'm
things
just
like that.
gonna
You know how you
go.
might have those mini games, or you might have
But I
different
love
hearts
her.
or
She's
stuff
great.
that
She's
have
just-
you
yeah,
use
she
some kind of
seems
special
perfectly calm. She's
item,
like, so you
object, the
can-
drinking game, that kind of stuff. It's just showing you
You're
that
the-
certain things will like
So I feel like I'm
replace
not
your
that
bar, and then
scary.
you can use
You're
other
that
actions
commander
off of
person, I
that.
think.
Yeah.
Please ignore the giant hammer when I tell you that I am safe.
Basically, these areas aren't for us.
Exactly.
So, yeah,
Because,
that's
well,
what
I mean,
that
they
is.
are
and
for
also
us.
shout
We can
out
use them if
to,
we want, but
Indigo
this is all
and
new
Aaron,
player
who
stuff.
are narrative
This is
designers
good.
Yeah.
for this map.
But-
They've done like an absolutely amazing
And this,
job.
so what they
both,
need
like,
to
with
do,
the
and which is
narrative,
what not Heart of Wands and Pathfire kind of did it, is the fact that
It
if
is-
someone
it is so
just
good. They
gets
have
into the
done
game and they
amazing
want to
work,
go
and I love seeing the
straight
work
to the
they're
new
putting.
stuff,
Just, that's something to
there's
keep
not
an
really
eye
been
on
that
as
option.
you're
They
going
can,
around.
they can
Anytime
create a
there's
character and they can boost there, but there's not really been an option to kind of learn about the game because all of the tutorial is in the base game.
I love it.
So they've put tutorial stuff in the latest expansion,
Where to next? So
which
what
is
we're
a good
actually gonna do is
idea.
you can meet me
So that's
over
good,
by,
and that's good thinking
the
because that thinks about the
Mount
future of the
Taxi.
game. Also
The-
means
I'm
you don't have to
sorry.
think about the past of the game too much.
What?
The,
Actually
act like I'm
understand what the
surprised
hell
by that.
dodging
right?
is,
It's
maybe.
like we didn't rehearse this or anything. With this,
Like it.
so with Shing Jea specifically, what it is.
I wonder how
introduced,
much of Shing Jea is Training
kind
Island,
of
though.
Transportation, which I think we're coining.
Did I say
Mount
Training
Taxi internally.
Island?
I don't know if it's going to ship with that name, but
Or training
Well, no.
area.
well, you and
Oh,
I should
'cause it would
actually
be good if it was a
why I
training
Yeah,
was
the
cool
mo-
about this is
the
that,
monastery? I think is what
for those who
is
don't have
mostly a
mounts
training
or
area,
don't,
anyways.
From Guild Wars,
want
right?
to use their mounts, right? They just kind of want to allow the thing to run.
Oh,
What we've
that's
done
cool.
was we've
We're
created,
we're
a
finally
taxi
getting
system, right,
flight
within
paths, guys.
Shing Jea, where you have the ability to just ask, hey, can you take me to this part of the map? And they'll be like, yep. And then you can actually get
is
onto
like Final Fantasy.
the Raptor and just go. And there are different speeds as well. Because it's like, let's just say that you don't want
Why
to
not just a waypoint?
Don't
I
wanna
guess we're
go
not
from
getting
point A to
waypoints.
point B. Like what you can do is you can actually stop it if you want to stop.
That would
and
be
look around.
interesting.
I mean,
the-
I guess because a waypoint allows you to go there from anywhere, whereas this only allows you to go from a specific point to another specific point.
And then if you're just like,
Yeah,
if
this
this
Yeah,
is.
do you want to
if
get
this
there?
is a
Just like,
training area and people are just getting into the game,
Yeah,
maybe they want to show
also,
you some
as we're
stuff.
doing
You know,
this-
give you a little bit of a
True,
guided.
but you still
tour
have
through
to-
the-
You still have to get the waypoint first, right?
Has been doing all of the work
Yeah.
for the Shing Jea map. She's the environment.
I mean, other things that are kind of nice about it is that,
as we're running,
I don't know,
I'm
I guess you, one, it's cool just to visually get a look, but two, it also just lets you kind of autopilot. So if you're trying to do something or go someplace, you can just hop on it, get up, go get coffee, come back, you know?
I'm gonna be honest, I don't know how much I like this feature.
While also.
Yeah, to me it sounds concerning. Like,
Yeah.
we don't want to like take out the interactivity from the game.
And also, like one of the greatest things about Guild Wars 2 is that it respects your time by giving you the waypoints and not making you have to take flight paths.
Remember, this could be just this one thing. Or did they say multiple?
I don't know. I'm worried. But it's probably fine.
Because this looks like more of a long, elongated route towards... There doesn't look like there's much in between at the moment. I don't know.
Right, but the technology, they could keep using it for, I don't know.
Until I get to the spot.
I want to hear what she's saying, actually.
It's called Grab Reins. So in other content, I think primarily in Season 4, and I think parts of Season 5, the Icebreed Saga, what you have the ability to do is rent mounts, which this is a little different. That's why we're calling it the mount taxis. But with the rented mounts, you can actually grab a mount that allows you to just kind of ride it wherever.
Oh, okay.
And I thought it was like, well, with the mount taxi system, what you should also be able to do is have the option to do that. So like what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna hit to training grounds, and then we're gonna have it run, but I'm gonna quickly grab the reins, and what that will do is that actually allows me to drive around a rentable mount. So for
it's
those,
an
as I mentioned,
additional
who don't
option.
have mounts, they have the ability to take the reins, take control, and drive it around. It does still follow standard rules for rentable mounts, where if you jump off of it, like you're stuck wherever you are, right? Gotta run back. But we wanted to make sure that it had.
Okay, so this is specifically for people who don't have mounts.
In those decisions.
Yeah, I mean, I think it gives you a couple different options.
All right, I have arrived.
I wonder if you can take them like to areas that maybe you haven't been in yourself yet, or like if you have to have that area unlocked to like unlock the full route kind of thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know.
So now that we've actually done some training, I think
Just looks like it's the rental feature with an extra feature on top.
Put it to practice, yeah. So where we currently are is what we call the Eastern Wilds. This is actually going to be the location where there's a heart that's based around fishing. So once you've unlocked fishing, you actually have the ability to
I like that.
practice with
That's
it
cool.
Within parts of Shing Jea as well.
Hey, real quick, are you still mortal?
No, I am not still
There
immortal,
it is.
so thank you.
You're welcome. I was like, oh, he's gonna die.
I ungodded myself. All right, so I'm going to quickly do is ESW.
Can't do this and be mortal. That's unacceptable.
All right.
It's a nice looking
But
mount.
what happens here also is that
I know, I love that
sometimes
skin with the
not
collector's
nice people
edition.
come.
Yeah.
So nice.
And what kind of not nice people, you ask? Well,
Also, not people.
ones that aren't actually people. So I'll let him speak for himself. Themself. Itself.
Yeah, I don't. The Naga Tide Beast.
We are blood and jade.
I can hear them yelling.
It's getting louder here.
Oh, I was going to say
a lot of
blood for the
anger
blood
coming
god.
from
I was
there's
like,
something
that's a
in
bit
the
of a copyright, man. Is she there? Oh, nice. Oh, it is them, okay.
Yeah. And surprise Naga. Always love some surprise Naga.
I do not.
I don't. But
turtle friend.
Look at that guy. Look at him casting his spell
non-small
back
content
there.
that is used,
Look,
utilizing one of
the new
armies,
turtle friend
which
is trying to
the
kill
Naga-
your face,
the Naga
okay?
army, that has a bunch of new skill sets and things along those
You must
lines,
love to kill him.
thanks to our
Oh, yeah.
Or them, sorry.
Founders team. And what you also
Turtles.
see here.
But seriously,
this
look at the
large
one
lab
casting the
over
spell in the
here.
water. He's amazing.
Look at the Naga,
have also
though.
incorporated,
Oh no!
Actually,
You had Nick.
They've
You had
incorporated
1 minute
force
left
map
to volunteer, else
transfers.
you'd be removed from the map.
Hey, could you do me a huge favor? And I need some more surprise Naga, please.
Basically, all right. Let's.
the Naga
let's
looked
re-
good. Did you
let's
see the
re-
different
let's
style
Naga,
as well? They
as
had like
say.
different fins and
Yeah.
stuff
But as you all probably
and bits and
saw,
bobs. So they were more of like from that region specifically.
in the history.
That's
of
good.
Guild
When you
Wars
get to
2.
different regions, the
What
color
we
and
saw here
the
is that we actually
shapes
have,
changing and everything
the
else. That's
we
good.
have Kappa, which are a brand new model as well. Which as
After
we're fighting
farming
Naga,
for
I'm
the
gonna try
last,
to
like,
zoom in
3
as much as I can
weeks,
so you can see how absolutely
Seeing those
stunning they
boxes
are.
makes me really want to click them.
Good job with these models. But as you saw here, the
Poppin, I
Kappa
think-
are part
I
of
think
the
a
Naga
lot- I
army,
think
and
a lot
similar to,
more.
Like, the Svanir,
So
right,
this
with the
this
rock
goes to like
dogs
the
or
question of like whether or not you feel like So a lot of traditional MMOs like have done this thing where they have the story from the beginning of the MMO to the present, and where if you go from one stage to the next, that's the progression, that's the way it should be. I think there are MMORPGs now which are basically saying that this is your journey and you can start wherever the hell you want, right? So you can start in this expansion, that expansion. This is a very Elder Scrolls Online thing, which is very good. I talked to the director, the game director about this, and he said like one of his things was he wants people to basically start where they want to start in the story they want to be in, which I think is a really good way of doing it. That was kind of how it was in Guild Wars 1
as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You could start a new character from factions, right? And then you'd have your story. And then if you were like a prophecies character, you'd kind of like come in at Kining Center, and then you'd skip the whole like tutorial part.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, Guild Wars 2 even technically allows you to do that at this point. You can just jump into either expansion as soon as you reach that cap. Of course, I love linear storytelling myself. The way that ESO does do its storytelling is more modular, which is really interesting to break down. But I do think that there's power in a single long-term narrative. But, you know, having freedom of play and ability to do things or hop into new stuff and new features is also important, I think. So it's really up to people already in the game whether or not they want to play through the whole story or if they want to skip around. So I think it'll probably be similar here, where you can just jump into End of Dragons if you want to, or you can do the whole story in order.
Yeah, I think it's a video game, not a book, so it's more important to focus on the play, not so much the storytelling. Even though they're both important, I think maybe for a game you don't want to force people to start from the start.
It depends on the person.
I mean, story.
Right? It does depend on the
person. But for other people.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, it's different for everyone. Like Parpin is saying, you know, this sounds like the story is important for you. It sounds like the story is important for Rick as well. Like you want to play through that whole thing where you know the saga. A lot of people, when they play Elder Scrolls Online, they also are very confused about the order. And they're like, the one thing they Google the most is like, what is the order of the episodes, the DLC, the chapters, and everything? And you're like, oh, okay, people do want order. Also, like Valen's saying, you got to think about the game thing and actually the fact that you've got to get new players in. And Guild Wars 2 is so awful in terms of you have to buy the living story stuff to even get all of the stories. So it's like, and they give it away for free and everything else, but in all honesty, it should just be free. It should just be free by the starting station time. Just give it to everyone for free. They will do. They will. They definitely will. If it was all free, it wouldn't matter.
Yeah, and so actually what I'm going to do now...
But how are they going to come up with that money elsewhere?
So what I'm going to
do... I mean, just get money for free.
I guess it depends whether or not you feel that giving people it for free will end up people being in game for longer or more because the story is there and they're spending money while they're there, or if people are actually buying it. I wish we knew those numbers, to be honest.
Oh, there they go.
This is a different topic, but as we get these close-ups of the Naga, the sheen on their scales, the colors, the details, so pretty.
It's an interesting conversation now. I'm going to add this.
Yeah, you have to, oh yeah. Me too.
I feel like that happens at least once every like 5 streams. They're like, forget to do
Imperial Favors, Raid of Shing Jea Island.
I can't clean out these 2 though, because that's probably gonna be spoilery, but it's fine. We also got hermit crabs.
They don't look much different. I don't know how much a hermit crab can change.
So the next thing is actually there's a quick cooldown, which actually let me see how much time we have left on that that we can't skip, unfortunately. Okay, so we got like about a minute to just kind of exist.
I do always find it interesting how different games run their story and like where they insert the player and stuff.
We missed so far.
No, I mean, it's a super cool discussion, honestly, and especially in MMOs.
That could be a podcast, to be honest.
Yeah. And like Alan pointed out, the actual gameplay and narrative, I think, are both really important components. So figuring out how you create a balance is key for, I think, having a really flourishing game that appeals to many different people.
The water while we wait for the NPC to surprise.
I'm watching, there's like half tourist and
half... when you said ESO as well, talking about that and the modular stuff, there is also the option, and when you're playing in the story and you've played a story previously, like the DLC or chapters, and the characters return that you've met in a different story, they actually add text to say, I remember you from this thing, linking it if you did, and if you didn't meet them previously, then they just don't talk about it, obviously. There's actually like, there is some pretty good ideas there.
Nabi, oh, that's right, Nabi-san.
Yeah,
I'm not
it would also be
sure
nice
where
to
that
Oh, hey.
NPC
deviate
is.
from like the commander plot. Maybe if we were not the commander, because every single NPC just calls us commander now, because that's what every single story is.
Oh, hey, thank you. Thank you for the reminder.
I think
Gonna
there's
be
like,
Outlander.
I always like.
well, that's the thing. Like, I think in every single MMORPG, you are called something like that, right? Like in ESO, you're champion. In
Here, what we're doing
Gaijin.
is taking the fight to them, right to the Naga.
I don't know what it is.
So our
I can't
job
hear
in
you,
two parts
Rick.
is to take is to work
Thank you.
with
In a more
Naga.
practical sense, I think a lot of times it's not only to allow players to have some kind of thing that makes them feel prestigious, but it's also for voice acting. And the fact that like you can't oftentimes have characters, like there's no way as of yet to fully realize all the like variations and iterations of character name. So they have to have some kind of stand-in that characters are allowed to voice act, like Commander.
I just had that image in my head of just like, imagine if it was like just the auto voice from somewhere from like you,
Oh,
you hear,
yeah.
just be like this
on
amazing voice
Twitch.
acting, and then just going Jebro.
Yeah, don't they
Valid.
in Final Fantasy 14 they actually don't have voice acting for player
Your
characters,
character,
right?
yeah, you don't have voice acting as the character. You can select different dialogue options, and they even poke fun at it sometimes, where they're like, "You nod stoically," and somebody will like comment about it. You know?
Two events. I think that he
Imagine
did a really good job.
if in an MMO they try to voice act all the all the player names. Demigod
That's what they do in
XXX.
Guild Wars, sort of. I mean, not the player names, but they all have the player characters all have voice acting, right? Just one for each race, I think. Well, each race and each gender for the race, right? So what is that? 10 voice actors for the
A lot of
player
voice
characters?
actors, yeah.
Please stop hurting my friends.
I'm just imagining a
this.
character.
Yeah, and
I'm just imagining a character now where it's like, "Thank you, valiant hero. Boots is bits."
Exactly.
You want the big fights, those also exist.
Yeah, so now we're going to be challenging the Tide Priest.
You thieving sea
Oh.
Also, I have to call out admiration for Nabi-san's like ocean-based insults.
There you go.
Thieving
Has the any
sea
water
weasel is
war,
my
I believe.
favorite new insult,
to see
and
it
I
in the
will find
game.
a way to work that into conversation.
I feel like there's a lot of. Oh, no. I feel like there's a lot. No. There's
I was gonna say, there's no way you're
Oh, there we
standing
go.
between
Yeah.
those boxes. This is
So,
Guild Wars
with
2
this
AoE,
event
please.
Specifically, with this part of the event, the
There's no way
specifically
that's gonna happen.
Is that the
It's
Naga
like,
Tide Priest is
safety
channeling
dance.
their power
Looks like
to
they're trying
be
to
able
cap the area,
present
right?
Vulnerable and also
Yeah.
cast spells. So what we need to do is.
That's
show them
nice
that they're
though. The
being
markers are
effectual,
super clear.
or at least try
I don't know if that seemed a bit
I used to pull my
Yeah,
dodge juice and
that was
kind of
unfair.
outright.
seemed a bit out of time.
We're good at this game. But what
It should probably turn red when it actually happens as well, to be honest. Like the AoE is still there kind of thing.
The stuff.
Not doing great at this.
Yeah, you gotta do that thing where
I switched to staff and I was
where
like,
it
staff 4, no.
expands and tells you when you dodge.
The
Hurl myself
stability.
back. Oh, there I went.
Do anything against this?
It would do something, I assume.
I would say.
I'm just like, I feel
This
like
is
I was
the
doing so much
decap
better
druid
last
tutorial.
time, and
Yeah,
now I'm
yeah,
just constantly doing it by the water.
Okay,
You're
so
versus
actually,
turret
this is a
engineer,
question.
go.
Can I use
Back in the
my
day.
weapon skills to
Not now.
dodge out? Oh, I cannot. Okay, never mind. Answer my own question.
Yeah, so these ones are actually built very much around, I think
That's
that they
rude.
utilize our wind tech, as well as like our knockback tech and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So they are very like, realistic feeling of what it feels like to get hit by a wave. But the
Yeah, I
long and
didn't
short
like
of
it.
Yeah, the long and short of it is that you basically just need to continue avoiding. You can also, what's really interesting about this event is that outside of just dodging, you can also
Is there a
emote
progress bar
onto
somewhere that I'm missing?
the NPC, because
Oh,
it's
that's
basically
right.
just like,
Uh,
hey, you're not good at this. Come
don't
get
think
us,
there is
right?
one.
Fight us
It's
like
just
a,
there
like
to
a
show
real
it.
Naga.
Yeah, they might. I mean, they might have the HUD off. I
some point,
think,
actually,
like where you would
Mark,
normally
can
see
you
the
switch over
event
to
bar and
these?
stuff.
it might just not be finished as
Do
well, I
not
guess.
show my.
Yeah, I think they
my
just
dodge
don't have
fail shame.
a
Yeah, I need
success
to actually check some
state.
of the UI stuff.
Yeah.
How far along we are.
More admiration,
Like,
more admiration for
is this
Navi
the
Sun's
map where we
insults.
can complete
I love
this
you
event?
have to do more than smell like low
Shit.
tide to make us retreat. Literally, you stink. It's
All right.
fantastic.
So what we're
Oh!
actually
no.
doing now
Boom.
is what I'm doing right now is I'm using a command to speed things up just a tiny.
Man, I like that. If I want that knockback, in the, like it's almost like Banish or whatever that thing is called.
Yeah,
The,
Banish, that's it. Guardian Hammer, everything, yeah.
yeah, but this is like twice as far as that. I want it.
Like
I don't know. It's
I want it on Ranger Hammer.
So, basically, do we think, like you said, Ranger Hammer, but just a random live thing. Do you think we're gonna get a teaser at the end? Teaser image?
So.
We've got
I
teaser
think it's
image
gonna be
before,
engineer
right?
though.
If it's engineer, then we're gonna be here for longer than 2 hours.
Don't get Jebro's hopes up. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Like different event types.
It's gonna be lost.
Enemy types, things like that.
They have released it often during the show, though. I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty sure it's on purpose now.
That type piece gets frustrated, and actually fights us IRL.
Yeah.
Or I guess
Yeah, those Naga look great actually.
there's a Naga
They
in
do
this
look
room.
good.
Yeah, and as you can see,
I
like,
like
this
those
type
water
priest,
effects as well. They
takes
look
all of
fairly
the Naga
neat.
kit
That's
and just
from
turns it up
the
to
CM.
11. There's a lot
Oh,
of
is it?
going on.
Fractal
And
100,
as
right?
previously mentioned,
They look very
actually,
similar
people-
to
Oh, yeah.
the raid, the Jin raid too, right?
Well, that bubble was
so
a
there's
Tempest
a lot of
bubble as
swarms,
Yes.
a
well.
lot of fighting, a lot of skills flying everywhere, and a lot of strong pattern skill sets coming from these
Love that
kinds of
it's, they're
bosses.
playing Reaper. I love Reaper so
A
much.
lot of water
It's good.
effects too.
I'm
Also
hanging
Shaq
on to that
effects.
last one HP so hard.
I think that we're going to be hanging on to it for a very long time, considering that we can't die.
I was gonna say, yeah, you can't
And also, like,
die.
as
It's
previously
just like I'm doing
mentioned,
so good at the
there are
game.
different, you know, like we've tried to push break bars a lot more with this expansion as
Amazing.
well. So we're going to be
Alright, that's a good
incorporating
phrase.
these a lot
We're trying to
more
push
within
break
the
bars a lot
events.
more
And
this
also, as you
expansion.
can see, they will
you
do
go.
their
Okay.
job.
I'm
by,
glad
like,
that they're
stunning
teaching
the
you how to
enemies.
do it
What I'm
then.
gonna do right now is go into God mode one more time.
I'd like
Thank
to
you.
actually
I'm trying
see,
so hard to get my
maybe
hammer
this is a
back. I'm
topic
stuck
as
with my
well,
staff now.
break bars be a little
And,
bit more
you know, like what's really cool about this
unique,
encounter
or like
specifically
the,
as well
the
is
thing that they do
with
gives more
Naga
variety.
Titans,
For
right? You break
example,
the
like
fist and you break his break bar.
usually when you do a break bar, you just stun the
All, like, a lot of
boss
its spells
and
go
then
away,
you just
right?
DPS them.
As you
What
can see,
could be
everything's
cool
on
is
Naga,
like you
fight the High
prevent the
Priest,
boss from doing a
and,
mechanic. So
That
like,
happens sometimes.
hard as two players
yeah,
to
it
be
sometimes
able to
happens,
prevent
but for the most part,
this.
break bars
Power-
are kind
Power
of, they
Death
just are all the same
Yay.
kind of effect. And it would be cool if,
I
you know, you
just
could
looked over, I
do
was like,
anything with
don't
it. You
you
could,
have, like, the
I don't really have
God
an, you know, an
killing
idea
I
on
know
it.
what you're-
right now,
you're
I'm
going.
very
Mechanics
slowly,
you could
I'm
do
tired of what we call
and just
milling
tie it to a
around.
break
Okay.
bar,
Like,
right?
1%ing it at
Well, the
Yeah.
bar. Well, what if the bar you break the bar and like, which is kind of what you're saying, but also just the fight completely changes as well. Like, it just they start using a completely different mechanic
Yeah, like
until you do
it phase
something else.
changes, and then like if you
Like instead of Karka, like instead of the large Karka, you have to take out 2 health pools. If you take out the break bar, you could then hit their health pool.
some of the other new prop sets.
yeah, sort of like that one mechanic where you have to like kill 2 things at the same time, and you want to like work on a certain health bar at this point, then you do like a break bar and that swaps it or something. Maybe that's a little bit too complicated.
I would like,
I mean,
I would
I
like
think-
options.
And that-
Options are
that's
good.
pretty
Like
much
if you can give
everything
people
for
options, like even if one is better than the other
Let's not,
to
we're not
do,
gonna
which
spoil-
you know will always
we're
be
not gonna
worked
spoil too
out.
much more, but that
It's
kind of gives you
benefit.
a look at the.
And even if
build
it's
of
just
Shing Jea
something
and
like end game
what the world
content,
looks
I think
like
it
and
adds
what's
an
going
extra
on in those
level to a
early
mechanic that is in the game
events.
that has to be kind of thought about or addressed and gives you more opportunities and stuff that's unique, especially to Guild Wars 2's CC system.
Yeah, I think whatever they do, they have to make it so that if you break the break bar, it's a beneficial effect rather than
Wait.
just-
So,
One more secret.
I think it was supposed to be during the
Sorry.
Mount Taxi segment, so I do apologize.
I think we got excited.
Yeah,
and
we
forgot.
there was a lot of pretty stuff to look at. I blame Tracy.
Sorry, I didn't mean to sound rude.
But with
This is one more secret.
with the Mount Taxi, right? As we mentioned, that there are for people who don't have mounts, we have the Mount Taxi. But in other parts of the expansion, you will also get the chance to unlock the Raptor and the Springer without needing Path of Fire. So as you're progressing through the content in other parts of the expansion, you'll have the opportunity
Skimmer
to play
has been
content
replaced,
that allows
though.
you to unlock those 2 mounts as well.
By
So even if you don't necessarily have Path of
Underwater,
Fire, if
though.
you don't have
That,
mounts, you
that,
also
answer,
get to unlock
that
those
answers a
too,
big question I
and
had about the
utilize
expansion.
those tool sets and mounts in general too.
That's why they brought Underwater in, right? It must.
Which is
That must
pretty
be
exciting as well, in my opinion.
I agree. That's going to be
The other
super
secret.
helpful for newer
secret.
players or players who don't have those mounts and the gliders unlocked yet. So hopefully that will kind of help speed you on your way through Shing Jea when you get to End of Dragons. So that's our show for today. We have so much more to tell you about End of Dragons through the rest of 2021. So make sure to follow our channel so you don't miss anything. Pre-purchase for End of Dragons is also available now. That gets you some cool pre-purchase bonuses that you can use in the live game now, including the Shing Jea Mosaic Cape, the Flame Serpent weapon.
Use one of the creators' links here if you would like to support them, please. It will be in the YouTube description. Everyone's links. I'm going to get them after the stream. Please make sure you use their link to pre-order the expansion. Thank you.
Dragon Boat skiff skin that I was using earlier. Right now in game, if you are looking for something to do now, our Halloween event is live now, Shadow of the Mad King.
Come on, Ruby.
If you've played in previous years, there is a long list of improvements and updates, including some new boss encounters for
the
Halloween.
experience boost during this Halloween event, though, is real. So if you have, like, alt characters that you're trying to boost up with, like, to get the new elite specs, if you are a new player, it's so worth it to do it.
There's also a game-wide bonus event going on until
And the weapons if you start off at level 1.
To celebrate
to level
Halloween,
10.
our
Did it
Halloween
last
bonus
night.
bash. And that is bonus XP, magic find, and reward track progress in all areas of the game until next Tuesday.
Oh yeah, reward track.
We are working super hard to get ready for the next thing, which is the October 26th Elite Specialization Beta event. And I think we will.
Hey, here it is, here it is.
Sneak peek for that.
Actually, before we move to the
Okay, y'all, I wanted to show you. Nick was like, no.
Yeah, no, you don't get to see it.
It was the Ranger. What are you talking
But
about?
the thing that I actually also wanted to mention, that I apologize, but you touched on Halloween, and something that I wanted to also note is that
Engineer is
Indigo,
lost.
who did the narrative and
because it's the best one, right?
Dialogue and writing for the Halloween event as well. So if you see that stuff, right, and you see like, oh wow, what a great job, because Indigo did a fantastic job with the Halloween stuff.
She did.
You know, just kind of, I think that can help you contextualize like what it'll be like and put together like, oh wow, she did both this and that. I just wanted to give another shout out to Indigo because she's great.
She is
great,
fantastic.
but I don't know if anyone cares right now.
Yeah, definitely collaborate and see what's new.
I care, Jebro.
I love Indigo.
Yeah.
Indigo's awesome.
If you're a new player since last year, first of all, welcome. Second of all, enjoy the festival. Make sure you hop in and check it out. Read through the update notes and see all of the stuff that's new. And can we show that thing?
Yes, I guess we can
Thanks.
show it.
All right, let's take a look.
Yeah.
Green.
Definitely.
I wonder what class that could be.
That's
Green.
Yeah.
Crazy.
2 toes.
All
Yeah,
right,
that
we
was
will see you
an
guys
interesting
next
foot
time.
there.
Thanks for spending time with us.
Thank you
Did someone clip that so we can look at that again?
I got it.
It did not look like a Tengu.
I have it. I'm going to tweet it out right now.
It looked like someone who is chopped off a Tengu's leg and put it on their own leg. And that's about it.
Well, let me for a second say this was the end of the show. It's going to be the end of the Guild Chat segment. If you want to watch the podcast, it's going to be going on right now. Just go straight over to it. Good job. Excelente. And add the stream marker there. Please do all the things. Do the people see, look at their stuff. Good. Well done.